on to the race to power in the US. Joe Biden and Donald Trump have a new rival. He is literally anybody else. Literally anybody else, that's the name. That wasn't the case always. The man used to go by the name Dustin Abe. He is a 35-year-old U.S. Army veteran from Texas. He teaches maths to 7th grade students, but now he has decided to run for the elections. He wants to give Biden and Trump competition for the presidential post. Although he needs 113,000 signatures from non-primary Texan voters by May to get his new name on the ballots, which seems highly unlikely, but still, the man is trying his luck. Why is he doing that? He says he is not satisfied with either of the front-runner candidates. Abe, or literally anybody else, says he is tired of the constant power grab, the tussle between Republicans and Democrats, and Americans don't have many options to choose from. And so he changed his name to prove a point. He says it's not only his name, but an idea, a rally cry. U.S. voters don't have a none of the above or neither option on the ballot. So he basically wants to serve as that option. Is he wrong? The man does have a point. This year, Americans won't be voting for the best candidate, but for who is slightly better than the other one. They will be choosing between the king of debt and the king of gaffes, between a 77-year-old and an 81-year-old. Both Biden and Trump face their own challenges. Let's just talk about President Biden first. He is the most unpopular president since the end of the Second World War. Right after coming to power, he ordered a hasty and chaotic evacuation of troops from Afghanistan. 2 weeks later, when the crisis ended, 13 U.S. service members had been killed. Hundreds or more U.S. citizens, along with Afghans, had been left to fend for themselves under the Taliban's brutal rule. This was just the beginning. Biden's war on fossil fuels helped drive domestic production down and gasoline prices through the roof. And then he begged the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, a foreign oil cartel, to produce more oil. And this will result in the same emissions as domestically produced oil. Under the Biden administration, 2 wars have broken out in the world, and both have been handled very poorly. Just months after Biden's disastrous retreat from Afghanistan, Russia invaded Ukraine. From the start, Biden took the moral high ground, framing the conflict in Ukraine as a global one. Between democracy and autocracy, he rejected Moscow's fears of NATO expansion towards its borders as baseless. He also overestimated Ukraine's capacity for war. He has been sending aid to Ukraine, but only after a lot of pleading. And this has not only prolonged the war, but also weakened the support in the Congress for military aid to Ukraine. And now his handling of the Israel-Hamas war seems to be the final nail in the coffin. He failed to rein in the civilian casualties in Gaza. He also failed to send in enough humanitarian aid despite multiple U.S. high-level visits to West Asia. A ceasefire or hostage exchange still looks like a far cry, and now it seems it won't be able to dissuade Israel from launching a ground offensive in Rafah either. And when asked about truce, President Biden casually gave out deadlines while licking ice cream. You heard that right. Take a look.
Well, I hope by the beginning of the weekend. The end of the weekend. At least my national security advisor tells me that we're close. We're close. It's not done yet. And my hope is by next Monday we'll have a ceasefire. Fidelity with the President of the United States and you're known for 2 things: Ray-Ban sunglasses and laser.
Can you believe that? Clearly, Biden will also be remembered for butchering U.S. diplomacy and embarrassing himself. Let's talk about the other candidate now, former President Donald Trump, the first one in American history to be criminally charged. To begin with, he is embroiled in 4 legal cases, facing as many as 91 charges, and it does not even stop there. He also faces several civil cases relating to his business empire, sexual abuse allegations, defamation, and then there are financial troubles. Trump has about 10 days to come up with a $175 million bond in his New York civil fraud case. And to top it all, there are his reckless public remarks. In February, he provoked an unusually quick rebuke from leaders around the world. How? He said that he would encourage Russia to do whatever they want to any NATO member that does not live up to the goals they agreed on in 2014. A direct invitation to war and such disdain for NATO. It did not go exactly in Trump's favor. My point is clear, I guess. These are the options that Americans have this year. Would they rather choose literally anybody else is the question. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.